Well, it's great to see full chambers this evening. Before we open our meeting, I would like to ask Pastor Mike New from the St. John's Lutheran Church come up for invocation. Mike, please stand.
Mr. Mayor, honorable council members, and all who are gathered here, let us pray for all people of God according to their needs. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all that you provide the community of Los Banos, the many resources that we are blessed with here. Your servant Paul wrote to the Romans saying, governing authorities are servants for your good. There is no authority except from you, and authority is instituted by you, and we should respect such authority. Let all who come before this council this evening approach in a manner of respect and civility. We pray your Spirit fill all public servants from our mayor and this council to the city manager and all who work for them. Give them the wisdom and insight necessary to serve this community. Guide their decisions to allow Los Banos to fulfill its potential to be a healthy and caring community for all who live here. Jesus taught us that we are to care for the least of us. How we care for the least of us is how we care for you. Paul told us, we who are strong ought to bear with the failings of the weak and not please ourselves. Each of us should please his neighbor for his good to build him up. May the God of hope fill you with joy and peace to trust in him, that you may overflow with the hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Call this meeting to order for May 7th, 2025. Chief, we have to pray.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we have roll call, please.
Sanders?
Here.
Chavez?
Here.
Lewis?
Here.
Amabile?
Here. Consideration and approval of the agenda as submitted. Is there any questions or comments on the agenda that's been submitted to the council?
So moved, Mayor.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as submitted. Any questions or comments? Not hearing any. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Now we will move to some presentations before we start our meeting. Pastor, if you come forward, please. Last Thursday was the National Day of Prayer. We were honored to have many of the pastors of Los Banos, our community, surrounding community, to be here in the council chambers and praying for our city and councilman. Oh, there's Steve. Good to see you. You almost missed it. Yeah. But anyway, we're glad you're here. We're glad both of you here. They do so much work for our community, helping us all grow stronger and making our communities a better place. So it's my honor to proclaim and recognizing National Day of Prayer. Whereas in God we trust is more than a slogan that appears on our currency. It describes an attitude shared by most of those who founded our great nation. And whereas those who trust God pray, and the history of our country has been and continues to be marked by people who come to God in prayer. And while prayer is a deep personal experience and its expression is shaped by different religious convictions, it is a meaningful part of life for many people. And whereas our greatest leaders have always turned to prayer in times of crisis, and many men and women represent every walk of life, pray. And whereas the President and the Governor of the United States have set aside a special day of prayer and invite all Californians to pray for our nation and our state. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and the City Council, members of the City of Los Banos, do hereby proclaim Thursday, May 1st, 2025, as National Day of Prayer. There you go. Thank you.
we appreciate the continued support. This year is our 30th that we've held here in the council chambers. We appreciate the support of our community and of our leadership, and just to continue to work together as pastors and as congregations to make our community better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, if I could have our police explorers come forward. I think there's a few of them here. Y'all looking pretty good, really good. These men and women do a lot of work for our community, and they are growing while they perform a lot of duties for our community and for public safety. And it's my honor, along with the council, to proclaim and recognize Los Banos Police Explorer Post 864. Therefore, a law enforcement exploring common referred to as Police Explorers is an American vocational education program that allows local youth to explore a career in law enforcement by working with local law enforcement officers. Whereas Law Enforcement Explorer Program was founded on July 12, 1937 as an affiliate of the Boy Scout of America. And the program is available to qualified local youth between the ages of 14 and 20. Whereas the Los Banos Police Explorers Post 864 has been in active programs in our community since 1990s. Our police explorers participate in following weekly training covering various law enforcement topics, ride-alongs and patrol staff, community services, events and conferences and competitions. On April 5th, 2025, Los Banos Police Explorer Post 864 participated in the 2025 Merced County Law Explorers Competition, where our explorers competed against all other explorers posts in Merced County. Whereas explorers scored first place in the felony vehicle stop, first place in domestic violence investigation, first place in team tug-of-war, second place in suspicious person calls, and third place in the female obstacle course. That's quite an achievement, isn't it? Whereas the City of Los Banos and the Los Banos Police Department are committed to providing a comprehensive training program focusing on leadership, competition, character development, good citizenship, and service to the community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and the city council members, the Los Banos City Council, do hereby recognize and congratulate the explorers and trainees of the Los Banos Police Explorers Post 864 on their accomplishments. Congratulations. Chief, I know you want to say a few words. Who gets the proclamation? Who's been in there longest? Who can do the most? There you go. Chief, it's all yours.
Mr. Mayor, members of council and community, thank you so much for recognizing our police explorers. I started as a police explorer when I was 16 years old, so the program is very important to our police department. It gives me great pride to stand up here with these young men and women, because at this age, they have already decided to stand out and to place themselves in a position where public trust and education and training and public service is very important to them. And so it gives me great pride to stand up here with all of you. You all deserve this. You all are very important to us. And we appreciate your service and everything you are doing for our community. There are a few of our staff members here as well. There's a sergeant who is not here because his mother is ill, but a lot of the staff have invested a lot of time into our police explorers, as the staff invested in me when I was young. And so I appreciate that, and I'm going to give this over to Officer Greco real quick.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council, for having us and for giving us this gracious award. Just as Chief mentioned, it's a tradition here with the Los Banos Police Department to have our explorers. Prominent figures were explorers at one point in time, our chief. And it's awesome to see these young men and women give us their all when they come to classes. And sometimes I demand a lot out of them, PTs, right? We train pretty hard. We do a lot of workouts, but they give it 110%, and it's great to see that. And I appreciate the parents, the families, moms, dads, cousins, aunts, uncles, all you guys contributing to letting us take care of your loved ones. We treat them really well, and we're proud of them. So just a little bit about the competition. We trained for quite a while to cram a lot of stuff into just a little bit of time. These guys absolutely killed it. They did amazing. CHP, a little side note, might have been a little upset that we won the high-risk vehicle stop, because that's like their bread and butter, but we took it from them because these guys were amazing. So again, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.
Thank you all very much. We expect one of you to be chief in 30 years. I don't know how much longer. 20? 5 or 6, yeah. Next year. Okay, thank you all very much. Give them another hand. Well, there's a few, we have a great staff here at City Hall, and a lot of people are doing a lot of hard work, and we're going to have an Explorers program for the City Council, I think. We used to do that about 20 years ago, 25 years ago. We used to have high school students up here, and I think it's about time we do that again. But there's two people that do a lot for this City Council and for the whole city, and these two people are instrumental in getting information to the public. So it's sort of like the go-between between government and the citizens, which is very important. As you know, there's a lot of times in city government, state government, and federal government, there's a break between transparency. So Lucy, would you mind standing up? Lucy's our city clerk, and she's been with us since 1993. She got a couple of years. She was hired just from the city of Atwater just a year before I became mayor the first time. And I don't know what I'd do without her and Sarah, because her assistant is Sarah Sullivan. And so we are proud to have a proclamation recognizing Professional Municipal Clerks Week. Whereas the Office of Professional Municipal Clerk, a time-honored and vital part of the local government, exists throughout the world. And whereas the Office of Professional Municipal Clerk is the oldest among public servants, whereas the Office of Professional Municipal Clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and the agencies of government and other levels. And professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, revering equal service to all. And whereas the clerks service as the information center as functions of local government and community, as the clerks also continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the professional municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of this office of professional municipal clerks for the city of Los Banos. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the mayor and these city council members back here, thank you a lot, and do hereby recognize the week of May 4th through 10th, 2025 as Professional Municipal Clerk Week in the city of Los Banos, and extend appreciation to our professional clerks, Lucy Melanie, and Sarah Belvin for vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the community they represent. Thank you so much. Okay, there's a lot. Yeah, speech. Okay. Okay, we also have certificate of recognition, Alexander Valdez. I saw him anywhere? No? He's at training. Okay, I thought I saw him earlier. Well, anyway, Chief, you'll take it. Alexander Valdez, a community service officer for the police department, works underneath Chief Reyna. His recognition for his outstanding performance and dedicated service to the city of Los Banos for being named Employee of the Month for April 2025. So you could make sure he gets this, Chief. We appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, I appreciate everybody staying with us through all that. And now we'll move to our public forum. Members of the public may address this city council and members of the public interest that's within the jurisdiction of this city council. This includes agenda and non-agenda items. No action can be taken on non-agenda items. You have 5 minutes to speak. If anyone would like to say anything, we will give you opportunity to speak during the one item for, for the mobile food vending. You'll have a chance to speak when we reach that item. But if anybody else would like to say anything to us, that's to the city council, please come forward. We appreciate you being here.
Good afternoon. I would like to address the council over item number 10 on the consent agenda for approval of the Downtown Improvement District through December 31st of 2034. I would like the item pulled from the agenda with a 60-day pause put on it and call for an audit of handling of all the monies and expenses. The Board of Directors has not been forthcoming with information as to the spending of our tax assessment. I have been asking for transparency since last year. You, Mr. Mayor, and you, Mr. Chavez, spoke to both of you, told me slack off. You were new. You would get into it. You'd let me know. 5 months, haven't heard from either one of you. I was finally able to get my hands on financial statements as of March 31st, 2025, by badgering one of the board members, and I just got them today after 3 o'clock. So I haven't had a lot of time with them, but I am concerned. It shows accounts payables of $12,798 being 90 days overdue. $3,727 to Berger & Company CPAs. $8,035 Ronnie's Landscaping. $250 Tom Calgin. Is there not enough money to pay our bills on time? Question. January through March shows events for casino night income of $12,331.80, expenses of $16,248.29, loss of $3,916. Why do we, the property owners, have to fund the city's entertainment events? I see no structural improvements, which I thought the money was supposed to be used for. On the profit statement, July 24th through March 25, shows assessment income of $129,570, non-assessment income $9,025 for a total of $138,595. Landscape and maintenance $12,015, which is flower barrels and washing the sidewalks, $1,000 a month. Well, more than that because that's only 9 months. Private security $17,923. I still see broken windows and graffiti. Was a bandit system worth that kind of money? CPA Berger and Civitas, the attorneys, $24,000 or $23,400. Where did that money go? What for? Because the accountants can't seem to get their paperwork out on time. That's a lot of money with no results. Salaries, $33,902. Rent and other expenses, $9,605. Leaves $16,764 until the next assessment comes. What improvements are you going to do with $16,000? You still got operating expenses. I think this PBID really needs to be looked at because whoever's managing the money is not managing. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else, please come forward. Please state your name.
Aeneas Brown. Good evening, Council, Mayor, and everyone in attendance. A couple things I wanted to put on notice for you guys. First thing is that I noticed that downtown is really struggling business-wise. I don't know if you guys have anything planned fundraising-wise, community events to help raise funds, but speaking with the business owners, they're really struggling and they're really down in the dumps about it. Hurts me to see hurts me to see them struggling, being raised here for about a decade and a half now. So, yeah, if there's anything you guys have planned in the next coming months, I know the fair is going to be around the corner, so anything at all would help. Second thing is after this council meeting is adjourned, I recommend that both mayor and council, as long as anyone in attendance is concerned, research Nasara Dasara. It's a whole mouthful to try to explain what it is, but it is really important to the people of the city council itself, and you being the mayor, very important funds-wise. It is, like I said, I wish I could explain more, but Dr. Kia Pruitt has been covering the subject of Nasara Dasara for about a couple years now. She has a lot of platforms that fully cover everything. YouTube, Rumble, Patreon, just to name a few. YouTube being the most accessible of the three that I mentioned. But yeah, just wanted to make that pretty clear to you guys. I don't know if you guys have studied it, known about it for however long it's been known, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your comments. Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Sean George. I'm a local business owner and a property owner in downtown. I wish to speak to this council regarding item number 10, specifically the issue of accountability and transparency. It has been brought to my attention through Ms. Corey that she has been trying to get accountability with regards to the funding, from where the PBID money went and how it's being used. And the fact that she had to hound the council for so long to get it and only got the numbers, which the balance sheet I myself only saw right before we started our proceedings today. And I didn't even get a chance to really examine it. I got a chance to glance at it because she only got it at 3 o'clock this afternoon. I would ask the council to reconsider item number 10, if possible, to take it off the agenda and reassess this once we can get some idea about where the accounting is going and what is actually being done. Because the little that I saw of the balance sheet that was presented, that Ms. Corey read off during her 5 minutes here, seemed as if this is an entity that is doing nothing more than feeding itself with taxpayer money. And as a member of the community, as a downtown business owner and a property owner, I am not seeing what I was promised when this originally came about. And I don't know many other individuals other than maybe Tom Calgin who can say what he's seeing that's being done with this money. And with that, I would submit. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. My name is Frank Elvie Jr. I am a local businessman and a property owner in the city of Los Banos. And when it comes to item 10, I am totally disappointed. I have never seen something that's such a big joke. We pay, and I'm still waiting to see something happen. They come out once a week, blow off in front of my business, which is 25 feet wide. Does that amount to $1,181 a year? If it is, boy, I'm in the wrong business. You know, I don't understand. I was against this from day one, and I'm still against it. We got railroaded into this thing to start out with because they changed the rules on us. And every time we turn around, they're raising the rate. We pay. Don't we have any say-so? This should be voted by the people that pay the taxes, not the people that sit up there and say, well, I think we need an increase, so let's raise it 2.5%. And now you want to extend this to 2034? Come on, folks. Think a little bit, use a little common sense, and take care of the people that are helping take care of you and helping take care of the city. You know, if you want to do something with the city, then do something. I mean, right now, there's 4 places that are closing their businesses. Is that the way to run the city? We're losing people. What are we gaining? You know, think a little bit and have a little compassion. Thank you.
Further comments?
Oh, go ahead, Carolyn. I'll start.
That's okay. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Vieierel,
Welcome.
and I was through with this whole darn thing. But I keep trying, and I finally got to go to a meeting of the PBID people. Here's what they gave me actually a PBID Board of Directors meeting minutes from February 19th, and they're looking for new board members. The board discussed interest from potential new members. It was agreed that the Los Banos Downtown Association will only accept board members' applications from individuals who align with the organization's mission, vision, and purpose. All future applicants will be evaluated accordingly. Doesn't seem like it leaves much room for discussion. Also, I'm very disappointed. I was so happy when Deborah was appointed to sit on this board. Because she has a conflict of interest on that particular day, supposedly, she can't come because of that. But the PBID, I don't know when their meetings are. They don't even have them. So they could have changed their meeting to accommodate somebody who's going to truly come in and look at what's happening and look at what's not happening. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Carolyn.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Good evening. I'm here also to address the PBID, the number 10 on the agenda. I'll keep it simple. I'm here to bring up the rear, I think, on the last one. 2 things. We have been looking through FOIA requests for 2 simple items of information. 1, clarification on the specific expenditures of the PBID with a description of the expenditure, not just a QuickBooks readout, because that doesn't tell a layperson anything that we need to know. And the income, specific items of income from the PBID assessments from its beginning. And we think that that's necessary to adequately evaluate whether to renew the PBID or not. And I know we're at a late stage now, but those are the 2 items of information I've been looking for since the middle of the first PBID. And the FOIA requests were responded to, but those items of information that were readily described were not provided. So that's what I'm looking for on that. I have one more issue. The Oddfellows are assessed an additional approximately $3,000 a year for the parking lot that they have generously for decades allowed the city to use for nothing. And there's been a letter sent to the city but not responded to. I think it was March 12th, but I may be wrong on that. It was early in March, asking that they be either relieved from paying the PBID assessment as long as they maintain and allow the city to use that freely, or lease it back to the city for the assessment. And there's been no response to that. With that, I conclude my comments.
Thank you, Alfred. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council, City Manager, City staff, my fellow residents. I just want to put my 2 cents in because it's something that has been something that was talked about throughout the last year and leading up to the change of the City Council folks. And I think what we need here at the city is a forensic audit. I understand that there is an audit, but that is not a forensic audit. That is the only way we're going to establish and identify where our fiscal house is. Not only do we have an issue, or many have an issue with the PBID, but there's also an issue with the way the ARPA money was handled and dispersed, along with some other disbursement issues. So again, forensic audit is what's needed. It's what was promised to the voters, and we need to deliver on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Please come forward. Welcome.
Well, good evening, Mayor and council members and staff. My name is Mary Bo Garcia, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Los Banos Downtown Association. Overall, first, I'd like to sincerely apologize for my recent absence. I experienced a family tragedy that required my attention, but I'm grateful to be back and fully committed to serving our community. Thank you to everyone who came out to support our casino night on March 22nd. It was a wonderful evening, and we're so grateful to our sponsors, Young's Air Conditioning with Bryant, Sutter Health, Coldwell Banker, Joe Gutierrez with State Farm, and Ronnie's Landscaping. And of course, a huge thank you to all of our amazing volunteers who helped make the event a success. And we're now gearing up for the busy and exciting season, our farmers market. Kicks off Friday, May 30th, and will run every Friday night from 6 to 9 at the Henry Miller Plaza through October 3rd. It is a great chance to support our local vendors and enjoy a fun evening in the downtown. And our 4th of July celebration will also take place Saturday, June 28th. It's always a highlight of the summer, and we're looking forward to another memorable event. And a special thank you to Morningstar for their sponsorship. I didn't bring a speech in regards to the PBID, but overall it's unfortunate that the only people that did come are the people that actually voted no. And it's very unfortunate that people forget all that we did last year. Last year alone, yes, we got a PBID passed August 7th for the 10 years, and it took a lot of hard work just to get that PBID passed. That had to do with the small infrastructure, with the operations, with the maintenance, and obviously with the small infrastructure. Yes, with the security cameras that actually have been a huge success. Just recently, even with Mechanics Bank in that window, we were able to capture footage on that, and several other incidents. The powder washing, that's a huge thing that's needed in our downtown. The tree trimming, the beautiful flowers that are on the pots right now. Obviously, when it's raining, I mean, it's not going to, be blooming, but they're blooming now, and they look absolutely amazing. The gateway sign, it's actually beautiful, and it really represents our historic downtown. Not only that, just the events alone that we did last year. We started with the wine stroll, the beer. We did the wine stroll, we did the beer, the pub crawl we did, then we did the beer and wine stroll. Then we also did, obviously, we started the farmers market. We did farm to table, we did the 4th of July celebration, we ran a booth. We also added the mariachi festival. We had several meetings in regards to the PBID. Unfortunately, people did not show up. We did have merchant meetings. We did everything that we had to do. When it comes to the financials, we have provided financials. We have provided everything that has been asked of us. But what I will not do is when you have certain people belittling you and basically, saying that we're not being transparent, when the reality is we are being transparent. They just don't want to hear the answers that we're giving. They don't want to hear the truth. They are just so wrapped around with the lies that they keep spreading, which is extremely unfortunate. You guys did audit the Downtown Association several years ago, and our books are always open. But when I've actually never received an email from Elaine Corey, actually, and the reason she received it today is because we just got a call today. So our new treasurer did provide that information. As moving forward, she will provide any information that is requested of us, or anybody for that matter. We want to work with the people that believe in our mission, our vision, and our purpose. What is the point of you coming in when you just want to diminish us? We're here to work with whoever would like to work with us. And I do apologize, I wasn't prepared. But overall, we are excited that the PBID will, hopefully it will continue. They had their 30-day trial, and they didn't step it up. And now they want to take it off? It doesn't make sense. But it will be as it is. But we are adding new security cameras, and we basically, our beautification efforts are in full bloom, literally, as the flowers are brightening the downtown area. And we are pleased to welcome 3 new board members, which is Sandy Silva. She is serving as our treasurer, Diana Fitzer serving as a secretary, and Jose Lopez, a local property owner. So we appreciate the dedication and are confident that they'll bring valuable insight and energy to the team. And thank you for your continued support as we work to revitalize and celebrate our downtown. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else, please come forward.
I didn't expect to be up here this much this evening. Again, I'm Mike New, but I'm coming to you as a resident. I live on North Santa Rosa Street, right off of Wilmot. And it's Wilmot that I would like to have addressed. I realize the city probably has a resurfacing schedule that they have planned out what cities or what streets get resurfaced. Wilmot is way overdue. It's a designated truck route. It gets heavily used for a residential area, and it has the truck grooves on both sides all the way from Mercy Springs to Johnson Road, because in the heat of the summer, the asphalt begins to sink down, and it has been getting deeper and deeper along Wilmot. And I would love for the city to take a look at what their schedule is and have somebody go out, survey that, and see if they can't move Wilmot up on the resurfacing schedule. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else, please come forward. Okay, I do not see or hear anyone coming forward, so we will move on with our agenda and close the public forum. Let's see, we have one letter that came in. I think I'll wait and we'll read that at the time. That's about the mobile vending, right, Lucy? Okay, so we had one letter come in, and we'll read it at the time when we get to that item. Okay, next item, let's see, is consideration of approve of the consent agenda. And the items on the consent agenda, if you could help us, Lucy.
Items on the consent agenda are as follows. Warrant numbers 250995 through 251447 in the amount of $2,493,611.13. Measure H, Citizens Oversight Committee Report. Measure P, Oversight Committee Report. City Council Resolution number 6923, authorizing investment of monies in the local agency investment fund and to revise the list of authorized signers for the city of Los Banos. City Council Resolution number 6924, amending the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget by increasing revenue in the amount of $785,000 and expenditures in the amount of $510,150 as it pertains to building department services. City Council Resolution Number 6925, amending Division 5 personnel benefits as it pertains to notary public certification pay, project management professional certification pay, water wastewater certificate pay, heavy special equipment operator differential pay, and refuse collection pay for unrepresented miscellaneous employees. City Council Resolution Number 6926, confirming the appointment of William A. Vaughn as City Attorney and approving agreement for City Attorney services in the amount of $14,700 a month retainer. And the items are to be approved as submitted.
Is there any items that any of the council members would like to discuss further? Okay, not seeing or hearing anyone. If we could have a motion, please.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Second. We have a motion and second as stated. Any further questions or comments? Not hearing any. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Next item is consideration of approval of the City Council Resolution 6927, authorizing the award of construction contract to Rolf Construction, Inc. in the amount of $4,432,440 with a 15% contingency of $664,866 for the construction of the final kilometer sewer trunk line replacement project. And with this, we'll go to our Public Works Director and City Engineer, Chuck Bergson. Chuck?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Presented to you tonight is the contract award for the last kilometer mile, the trunk line going from the east end of the city to the treatment plant. It's to give us capacity going forward to our future. We're currently, the current line is at capacity and then deteriorating, so we need to replace it and also plan for the future. We bid this project out in the public about I think 2 months ago. We came in with a low bid from Rolf Construction in the amount of $4.4 million, and we're recommending that award to Rolf Construction of that water in that amount. I'd be happy to answer any questions. The depiction of the route is on the overhead as part of the council report.
Any questions to Mr. Bergson? Seeing or hearing anything, this is pretty standard maintenance project to increase our flow, like Mr. Bergson said. It goes across our land to the wastewater treatment plant. It's a lot of money. Things have to be done. So with that, I'll look forward to a motion.
Mayor?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve City Council Resolution Number 6927 as read by title.
Second. We have a motion and second as stated. Any further questions or comments? Not hearing any. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Item number 9, consideration of approval of the City Council Resolution Number 6928, authorizing the interim city manager to execute a purchase order with Agee Construction Corporation in the amount of $175,269 for the procurement of the reinforced concrete pipe pursuant to Section Code 3-10-.250M of the City Municipal Code. And with that, we'll go back to Chuck.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, this is the award of the the pipe that's going to siphon the canal below the sewer line. As you see on the diagram where the San Luis Canal runs north-south and the pipe run essentially sort of runs east-west, and we've worked an agreement with the Grasslands Water District that where the pipeline right now goes through the middle of the canal, and the concerns are when there's a lot of trash and debris goes into the canal, it could break the sewer line and contaminate the canal. So we've agreed to put a siphon in, and this action is to purchase the pipe in advance so the contractor can complete that intersection as part of the project. The other factor prompting the request for this pipeline is that the canal is going to be dry. Grasslands is going to drop the canal from June 1st to July 17th, and if we get to build that pipeline while it's dry, it'll save us at least $250,000 or more. So we'd like to go ahead with the purchase, provide it to the contractor, and complete this project.
Okay, any questions? Pretty straightforward. I'll entertain a motion.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 6928 as read by title.
Okay, we have motion and second as stated. Any further questions or comments? Not hearing any. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it.
Thank you, Council.
Motion passed. Okay. Next item is consideration approval of City Council Resolution 6929, authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement for implement of the Los Banos Downtown Property and Business Improvement District Management District Plan between the City of Los Banos and the Los Banos Downtown Association through December 31st, 2034. And before we move forward, Bill, I know you wanted to state something there.
Yes, I would just like to announce that I own property within the PBID boundaries, and therefore I have a conflict of interest and will have to step down off the dais for this matter.
Okay. We will call you when we're finished. So with this, we will go to our Community Economic Development Director, Stacy Souza Elms.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council. Just a little bit of history to start. So back in August of 2024, the PBID, the Los Banos Downtown Property and Business Improvement District, was renewed for 10 years. This was done through a Prop 218 process with a vote of the property owners with a ballot. So what is being asked tonight is that the City Council would consider renewing an extension to the current agreement that we have with the Los Banos Downtown Association. The agreement that we had in the past was for 5 years, which was followed the previous term of the PBID and the PBID's management district plan. The proposed agreement is essentially identical to the previous agreement with two changes. The term extension is the first change, and that's because this renewal was for 10 years. And then second, we changed the annual report due date from March 1st to May 1st to better align with the fiscal reporting cycles, because those annual reports are prospective, so they're looking into the future, into the future fiscal year, and it just better aligns, and then we can align our budget as well based on that annual report. So city staff is asking that the City Council would consider authorizing the interim city manager to execute an agreement for implementation of the management district plan between the City of Los Banos and the Los Banos Downtown Association. And that concludes my report.
Okay, so we heard from a lot of people from the audience this evening. I know you gave us the history and you gave us the plan. What is the city actually in charge of with the PBID?
So we are a property owner within the PBID. We are a member of the district as a property owner. But essentially, a PBID is like a homeowners association. It's the best way to explain it. So we're a part of the district, which is managed by the Las Banas Downtown Association, and that is within the management district plan. So that management district plan is what gets adopted with, and what did get adopted back on August 7th with the renewal of the district. So the city of Las Banas, we don't have control over the district. We are one of many property owners. There's about 68 or so, if I can recall, property owners, and we have one voice, just like the rest of the property owners. Now, the PBID, under the governance of the Las Banas Downtown Association, is to have their meetings, which are to follow their bylaws. Their bylaws say that they're quarterly. They do have to, and it's outlined in the staff report, what the agreement is obligating the city to do, but really what the Downtown Association is responsible for doing, and that is they need to conduct their meetings in accordance with the Brown Act, so they need to be open to the public. They need to have insurance, so it's a responsibility of the Downtown Association to have insurance and indemnify the city. They do have to have financial record keeping, and they do have to have auditing. There are auditing requirements. Within this agreement that we have established, it has terms for how long they need to keep their financial records. It does, on the city side, require us to coordinate with Merced County for the levy of the collection. We're essentially the middleman in between the county, who's collecting the assessment, and then down to the Downtown Association, who is managing then the assessment. And they are to provide those services and improvements that are outlined in that management district plan. So I hope I answered your question. This agreement just makes sure that the Downtown Association is supposed to do what they're doing. On the other side, on the city side, it ensures that we are coordinating with the county regarding the tax assessment, and the city is the middleman and in between the assessment between the county and the Downtown Association.
So, like you said, with authority, we have one vote,
Yes,
just like everybody else out here.
yes. We only have,
And we have one seat on the board, correct?
yes, yes. We can have, we have one seat with one representative on the board, which is the Las Vegas Downtown Association Board that governs the people.
Because when I first got elected and people were coming to me, and I really honestly thought the city had more control, and I was new to this mayor, my second time in the PBID. I wasn't a part of it. So I just took what everybody was saying, that we actually had more control of what was going. So when people were coming to us and saying, you have to do this, you have to do that, actually we have just as much power as Mr. Vieira is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Except that what we're doing tonight is just approving the plan, their plan that says, that's stated in the PBID, correct?
Right. It's
And
really
that's right.
defining the roles and responsibilities about facilitating the assessment. The city collects the assessment, and we then turn it over to the Las Vegas Downtown Association as outlined in the management district plan. Yes.
So all we do is we make sure the money gets sent to the state, to the county.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, may I interject?
Yes.
So if you look at page 106 and 107 of your packet tonight, it describes fairly specifically what the association's responsibilities and obligations are and what the city's obligations are. And not to restate everything that Stacy just said, but that's where it lays it out very, very detailed. And I'll call your attention to section 3H, where it talks about records and audits, and it talks about the requirements to maintain those records. It talks about the city's ability to request an audit at the cost of the association, if we so desire. But below that are the section number 4 is the city's responsibility. And I only say that just to reinforce what Stacy's talked about. And really, tonight's item is not I don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone, but tonight's not a discussion about whether or not we can make any changes to the BBID or the vote of do any changes in regards to how it voted or how that outcome came about. Tonight's is just to establish and reestablish this agreement in regards to the city's relationship with the PBID, primarily in what Stacy referred to as being the fiduciary of the funds, collect the funds from the county, disperse the funds back out to the association. But we have all of these items here in the agreement set forth that we can certainly ask for and make our own determinations about the association's expenditure of funding if we need to.
So basically, if we did not act on this tonight, the money still would be collected. It just wouldn't be dispersed.
Right, we would not have an agreement with the Downtown Association to disperse the funds. I would need to consult with legal counsel what would happen in that instance, because the management district plan does state that the Las Vegas Downtown Association is the governance. So we would need clarification regarding what would happen, but essentially, yeah, the city would be collecting money, and we wouldn't have an entity to disperse the funds to.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to open. Anybody else would like to?
Mayor,
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see. Okay.
Thank you. So I had Director Melanie, pass out the Brown Act, which the Downtown Association is required to follow. And that's under section, chapter 9, section 54950, which they quote, which is quoted in the packet that was given to us. And it indicates that in enacting this chapter, the legislator finds and declares that the public, commissions, boards, and councils, and their other public agencies in this state exist to aid in the conduct of the people's business. It is the intent of the law that their action be taken openly, and that their deliberations be conducted openly. The people of this state do not yield their sovereignty to agencies which serve them. The people, in delegating authority to not give their public servants the right to decide what is good for the people, to know, and what is not good for them to know. So, in other words, you have to disclose it to everybody, the people who pay the taxes. The people insist on remaining informed so that they may retain control over the instruments they have created. And I think that's very clear and basic. You know, it's like us. We have the obligation to be transparent to the public. We have, this year, we're going to have a workshop for our budget coming up for the fiscal year 25-26. And then after that workshop, we will have an approval. In the past administration that was just unelected, what is being stated tonight in regards to this project, I was never able to get. I asked for transparency. We did have an accounting, an audit at one time, but the audit that we received was very minimal. It provided pie charts. It did not provide transparency as far as the money collected and the money spent. And so I think this is what some of the people who are here tonight are asking for. Yes, the city is one vote, but the city as a whole has the majority of the property in the downtown area along with probably 3 other members. And the way the vote goes is that it's based on how many square feet you have as to the weight of your vote. So when we had this project come before us in August, there were more people individually who own property that voted against renewing this project than there were that wanted to keep it going. So technically it seems like a disparity, but that's how it's written up under some state or federal law. I'm not sure which one it is. The other thing is, in this agreement that we have, right after the recitals, in the agreement under 1.1, it says the city may terminate this agreement early if it is determined that the association A, and this is on page 1, has misappropriated funds, committed malfeasance, or violated any law pertaining to the activities and improvements described in the management district, or in otherwise administering and implementing the plan, or has breached this agreement and has failed to cure the breach within 30 days after receiving written notice from the city. So if the city doesn't know, how can you give a notice? I personally have wanted to know on the PBID side. I really am not concerned about the 501c side because that's money they raise to do the things for whatever they do with the association. But on the PBID side, for the money that we collect from taxpayers, the taxpayers are entitled to know. They're entitled to know how that money is being spent. And so for me, that means we need to request, as Mrs. Elaine Corey, thank you, has indicated, line by line, you've gotten it. We've given them money from what, the year 2000 to this time. Where has that money gone? And if the documents that you have in your control indicate they're in the red, be it on the PBID side or on their 501c side, which we have no control over, then I'm very concerned. I can't sit here as a person on this council and say, oh, this is wonderful, let's just move forward, if they're truly in the negative. And I think we owe it to the public and the public is everybody who pays their taxes. It's not just the people who own property down here. It's every taxpayer in the city of Los Banos who pays taxes, who have the right to know how this money's been spent, if we're in the red, or if it's being spent on things that they've agreed to. Now, I went and pulled down their implementation of Matrix. It's basically one of our older what's the word I'm trying to find? It's the new one that we just passed, master plan. And everything in here is about what the city's going to do, the Chamber of Commerce, and Downtown Association, but it's always with the caveat of potential. There are things in here about parking. You should be interested in that, Mayor, on page 65 about parking and, maybe how the parking can be redesigned to help facilitate downtown, how it can make it better. And they give different ranges of time. It's medium, long-term, short-term, but what does that mean? Does that mean you're going to do it within a year? Is it 5 years? Is all of this going to be done within the 10 years? This plan has been approved back in August, 4 months before it was due. 4 months before it was due. And so now we're sitting here asking our city manager to sign this contract when there are questions at hand. And yes, I know that I look like the evil, wicked witch of the West or the East or wherever they came from. But I'm just a council person who wants accountability for your tax dollars that are being spent. And everybody's entitled to that. And if it makes me look like I'm singling out an organization, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to single out an organization. I wish that I didn't have to say this, but I think we owe it to the taxpayers to do this. And if it's found that there's malfeasance, misuse of funds, whatever the case may be, if bills aren't being paid in time, then we need to question that because we have the authority, according to this agreement, to do so. And no one spoke to that tonight. No one spoke to the fact that the city council holds the authority to terminate this agreement. Now, I'll just give you an example. You know, it was talked tonight about the beautifications of the pots downtown. Do we have the overhead? Is it working tonight? Okay. Well, it's not working, but I gave the councils, it's in the packet. I think the newspaper has it. I talked to merchants downtown. None of them seem to be happy with the iron pots and what's being planted in it. We have trees downtown. When those trees were trimmed, none of the merchants were notified that they were going to be trimmed, and their businesses were disrupted. So we have these pots. We have crepe myrtle trees planted in there. We have birds of paradise. It's really kind of a hodgepodge. This is just my opinion, and the opinion of the merchants that I have spoken to. Now, on the second page, council will find a picture of what I've gotten out of a landscape magazine that I get monthly that, you know, talks about landscaping. It talks about playgrounds. It talks about all kinds of equipment that can be purchased. And I know none of you can see it from here, but I'll leave it here on the countertop if you'd like to see it after the meeting. But it's beautiful pots, very they are ceramic pots. The plantings are monochromatic, whether you use one color or multiple colors. It just gives the downtown in this picture beautification. The association, from what I'm very happy about the security cameras that they bought and more to be purchased. I think the whole area that they are responsible for should have cameras to protect the merchants so that it will help our police department be able to identify if something happens. But the watering, some of the merchants have told me it's done occasionally, and they have to water the plants to keep them green. So, you know, it's one person's statement against another. I think in regards to the financial part, we need to delve a little deeper into it and find out what's going on before we sign this contract. And that's just my opinion. I think there was originally, it was a good idea about what was supposed to happen with this downtown association, but for what the 5 years that have happened, what we've gotten are the pots downtown, we've gotten some benches, and we've gotten some trash cans. There may be more that I don't know about, but that's what I understand that has been received, and also the cameras. There may be something else I don't know. But there was a lot of information that was not dispersed to me as a council member, and it's unfortunate because I think the public needs to know what they're getting. And again, it's not just the people who own businesses downtown. The money that is collected for the city of Los Banos is your tax dollars. That's where it comes from. So thank you, Mayor, for the time. I appreciate it.
I want to clarify a couple things. I'm going to turn to Stacy. You can say, okay, what Mayor Pro Tem Lewis said. We still only have one vote. Even though we own the most property, we have more than one vote.
Just one vote.
Just one vote. If we do not sign this document, nothing changes, except the money is still collected. So I think this is the confusion the confusion I'm getting, and I think they are in the black. Their casino night went in the red, is what I understood. But my understanding, if we don't sign this document, basically they can't get the money to expend it. That's pretty much our authority. But we only have one vote, right?
Right.
Just like everybody else has one vote, even though we own council, the city of Los Banos, the citizens own, this is our town, all of us together, have just one vote. Okay, so I just want to really make that clear. I'm sorry using my hands too much. It's all those years of disco. But I just want to make that really clear. So we don't vote on this, and maybe there's other suggestions. Mary, maybe,
Mayor, if I may interrupt, and I'm sorry.
Yeah,
If you
why
will
don't you
go, if everyone will go to the agreement that we
Yeah.
received, it states right at the bottom, the city may terminate the agreement early if certain things are, so
Right.
this is not about one vote, it's about the city's authority.
the city's
So
of-
we,
but I think what I'm understanding is that our authority is, the money is collected by the county, we distribute it to the Los Banos Association. If we terminate that agreement, that's the only thing that changes. It's not our
no,
authority, is that right?
this is not.
Tell me if I'm right,
So who,
right or
who
wrong.
collects the money? We collect it and give it to the county, and the county disperses it?
No, the
County.
county collects the assessment. It's on property taxes.
Okay.
And they give the money, that apportionment to the city, and the city then gives that to
Okay.
the downtown association.
So I think our only hammer, if you want to call it that, is we can stop the money. We don't stop the taxes. Taxes still are collected.
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that the people here tonight who have spoken have asked for,
An audit or whatever.
yeah, an audit, and not just what we've gotten in the past. What I've heard from Mr. Whitehurst, is he still here? I'm not sure,
Yeah.
is that he'd like something to say, you got this much money here, and this is how that money was spent, and at the end of the year, this is what was left. So, I mean, it's the same thing we do here at the city.
Right.
It's no different. And so I think the city and the public and the business owners who are in the pay in the downtown association are entitled to receive something like that. And what I am hearing is that they have not been able to get this information from the downtown association. There has been some resistance. So that's what I support tonight, is making sure that we as a city who have the authority to bring the transparency to these businesses and to the public, give them what they are asking for so that it's clear and above board, and then hopefully all questions will be and concerns will be settled.
Well, I think some of the issue is that it seems like there's a lack of transparency, because I've been hearing it from multiple people and they don't know what's going on. Where's the money? They keep asking. They haven't gotten it. And now something at the last hour comes in, and then now it's like, okay, well, now we're seeing stuff, but it's like, why did we wait so long to do that? If we would have taken care of things before, maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. Ms. Vieira made a statement about, and I have to agree, is it seems like a lot of stuff written in this deal. I mean, we weren't, at least us up here, weren't involved when they put this contract together. It seems very one-sided. It seems very what's best for that association. If they're who they're going to put into the association, they get to pick and choose who alignable. Or is it saying if we get yes people, then that's who we're going to allow in? You should be able to, have people with counter, they can counter, they can pick at things. That's what it should be. If it's going to be a yes panel, what's the point? And it just seems like the way some of the stuff is written, it's just very, I don't think it's a very well, fairly written agreement for transparency for the people. It just doesn't seem that way to me. That's my personal opinion. That's where I have my issue.
So I think the best mechanism to approach, the best mechanism to get the audit that we are all looking for out of the Downtown Association is by way of this agreement. If we do find that there is fraud, waste, abuse by way of that audit, that's when we take advantage of the first part of this agreement that the council members has pointed out, the misappropriation of funds, that we have the ability to cancel this agreement, for lack of a better term. I
If
just
we don't
want
approve
to,
this agreement, is that still there?
Was this
No.
agreement, this didn't exist before, so we didn't have any?
no, we
rights
did,
before?
we did.
So can we get the audit before we approve this agreement?
No, so if we don't approve this agreement, the ability to use section 3.H, as I understand it, would go away. We wouldn't have that authority because we wouldn't be operating underneath the agreement,
So the other agreement is expired, and we don't have an agreement now, so if we were to ask them for their records, they could say no,
potentially, yeah.
which would raise a tremendous risk.
Right. I don't assume that the Downtown Association would do that to us, but yeah.
Well,
So it's a step-by-step.
So we're not
Yes.
under an agreement.
So,
No, this is a,
hearing all that, I don't believe there's fraud, there's anything like that going on. I think we just need,
It's better to know if you, before you sign a 10-year agreement, though, I feel like it's better
Well,
to.
that's my point. Why's it got to be 10 too? Why is it so long?
to answer that question, that's
Yeah.
just the length of the P-bid. The P-bid, so this provides the mechanism for the county to give us the funds and us to produce those funds to the association.
Well, that was the agreement that the previous council, the
Yeah.
first P-bid was only 5 years. It could have been extended another 5 years, but they chose 10 years. So that's why we're at the 10-year mark.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't think staff has a single hesitation for doing anything that you or someone might recommend by way of 3.H or 3H, where it talks about us requesting an audit. We can do an audit for 1 year. We can do an audit for all years that the P-bid has been in existence. And as you'll read, it talks about at the sole cost of the association. So we have that mechanism in place where we can do that.
okay, so what I understand from the people that have spoke, it's basically, where did the money go? They aren't seeing where the money has been spent. They want to see where the money's spent. They've been asking for quite a while. They've asked some council members for help. And so I think it's time to help. I think if we don't approve this, we've really tied our hands, that we really don't have any power at all. So we need to approve this tonight, but then we need to come in and ask for an audit. And I know the Downtown Association, they'll do the right thing and give us what we want, that we can then make it public. So they'll make it public, we'll make it public. We need these, I know you all want the P-bid to go away. Unfortunately, it's not going away. It's been voted on, and a lot of people like the P-bid, a lot of people don't like it. It's just one of those things. And so I think today we have to go forward with this and ask for an audit. That's my suggestion. I don't know what.
Yeah, Mayor, if I may suggest, the last time we had an audit, as I said, it was very minuscule. It brought back grass, just like what we have here in our packet tonight. So I think we need to outline specifically what we're looking for in that audit, so that the merchants, the downtown business property owners are satisfied and that we're not cutting them short. So I would suggest that what Mr. Whitehurst had made a request for is, kind of a line by line for the P-bid portion of what we have given them since the onset to this date, which would be a 5-year period of time. It was, as Mrs. Souza stated several years ago, they were on a annual fiscal budget, and it was changed to it was an annual budget rather than a fiscal budget. So now it aligns with when our fiscal budget is due, so there shouldn't be any discrepancy. Yeah. So that's my only suggestion, is that we need to be specific, because when we requested it before, we thought we were being specific enough, but it wasn't, and therefore we did not get for the business owners what they were asking for. And I think it's important that we make it clear so that everybody's satisfied, and however it comes out, if it comes out clean, then that's all we can offer.
I think we have, Minnie's our new finance director. She's already doing an excellent job for the city. And if she's satisfied with whatever is brought, we'll be satisfied too. Because I'm not an expert on
But we have to say what we want. We can't just say, whatever our financial director is satisfied with, we have to state, if we're going to ask for an audit, what is to be in that audit. So that's the part that that I'm trying to get across here on the council, so that everybody knows what's going to happen. I understand from our financial director that we need to pass this tonight, but if we need to put it on the next agenda about what we want out of that audit, and I'm not sure, maybe our financial director could assist us in that, but this needs to happen to clear the air so that this kind of stuff goes away, and going forward, when they come with their annual financial information, that it's not just a bunch of pie charts, that they're giving the council for the property owners what they need to see on a fiscal year basis. And that way, we don't have them coming back dissatisfied because of the way money's being spent, or that they don't know how money's being spent.
So is it wording like comprehensive audit or?
I don't know. That's what I'm gonna.
So if I can suggest, I think that even if the Downtown Association or a third party produces a document that you have questions about, we can always ask them to go back and seek more clarification to try and answer those questions.
Wouldn't it be better if they knew upfront what is expected in the audit?
Yes, 100%.
Versus having
100%.
one and then, well, this is not enough, and we're still getting complaints, and send them back. That's a waste of their money, the waste of the money to do the audit as well.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to be clear upfront what the expectation is, so that it's a a one and done deal, at least for the period of time that we're talking about right now.
Well, I'd say what's sad is that we're even in this situation, because even before I even came on here, I was hearing about PBID and people, had the same complaints. If we would have had some transparency earlier, I think we would have, this probably wouldn't be here now as it is. And now we're being told we got to vote on this to do anything. Do we really have to? Why don't you pull it and look at it in the next meeting or something, and get this drawn up of what we're talking about, what we want to see. Because the way it is right now, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense.
I think, if I may
Yes.
speak, I think auditing standards are pretty consistent, and that's why they're standards. So they would be held to the same standard that the city audit would be held, and that would be my commitment to you, is that we would audit or ask for an audit that fulfills those standards. And then you also have in the contract the ability to be able to cancel the contract based on not having sufficient information. So I think we can work with them on basically letting them know what those standards are that we are using as the city standards for an audit, and that's the basis of the audit that we're going to be requesting from them, and be able to establish those guidelines so they don't waste their money, like you said, and make sure that it is abided by.
So I know there are minimum standards in an audit, but at this particular level that I'm requesting, does that go beyond the minimum standard? And that would be based on the example that Mr. Whitehurst brought up, is you got this money in the beginning, step by step for each year. What have you spent, and what is the balance going forward? It's like, I guess it's like a balance sheet. You got your bills here, when were they paid, and what was the balance going forward? And I don't know if that's considered a standard audit or what.
So as a prior auditor myself, it's making sure and testing all of the disbursements, making sure and testing all of the expenditures that are done, all the revenues received, making sure that everything is approved based on certain standards, and making sure that everything is balanced, and making sure that everything has signatures and everything is cross-checked. And those are high standards. There's pretty high standards in terms of auditing of nonprofits, of auditing of cities and municipalities. So like I said, we can work with them on making sure that we have enough to be able to come back to council and give you a report to satisfy that that they have not misappropriated funds.
And would the council have access to see that audit as well?
Yes.
Okay. And I appreciate that because that was not what we received before. So I appreciate your description on what the expectation would be. Thank you.
So, council members, part of this section 3, we have access and right to all of their records. They have to provide them all to us within a reasonable time.
Yes. Okay.
Obviously.
What's a reasonable time?
Enough to make copies.
60 days.
There
Probably-
should be something that
probably
takes
Well,
years. What is
we're
that?
going through our budget right now. It has to be after our budget.
So in the next council meeting, you're going to be receiving your audit for June 30th, 2024. So it's a little bit late. Normally we have it to you by December, and we're going to be bringing it to you. So I would say the expectation for their audit would be a 6-month period, making sure they have enough time to prepare the detail that we're looking for, and that we have enough time to be able to coordinate with them and get all of our things done, the budget and everything fiscal year end, so then we can engage with them and make sure that we bring you a good work product.
So it says the language here is that the association will obtain and provide to the city at the association's cost an independent financial audit. So it's not saying that we can audit it.
No. We're going to coordinate to make sure that
So it's just a coordination.
Yes, it's a coordination, making sure that the information that they're providing their auditors is what we're requesting.
Again, if we don't pass this tonight, we don't have any of the power to ask for any of it. So. Okay, anybody you want to make another statement that you haven't said?
A reason why it has to be passed tonight? I mean, is it a matter of it's got to be ASAP? It
Well-
can't be prolonged for a week or 2 weeks?
As my understanding, it has ended, correct? And we have to renew it, or it's gone.
Okay, thank you.
When you say it's gone, it's gone.
The agreement's finished, and then the money's still collected, money doesn't go away. But the money isn't distributed to the Downtown Association, and then we don't have any power to ask for anything. Because there's no agreement.
So it just keeps going to the county.
Yeah.
And forever, for life.
For 10 years.
Oh, for the contract for 10 years. Okay.
And then the last thing I want to ask, Mr. Whitehurst said something about their parking lot, the Oddfellows, is being taxed.
Yeah, that's another.
Does anybody know if that's true?
Yes, that's true.
Is
And
that-
the city's parking lots are also being assessed. The
Oh, okay.
private property owner right next to us with the parking lot also being, so the Miller and Lux is being assessed, we're being assessed the same amount as the Oddfellows as well. So all the properties, all the parcels within the boundary are all being assessed the same amount.
Okay. Okay, so, and that's a done deal, correct? Yeah. You can't change. So with that, I need a motion. Oh, come forward. I'm sorry, I thought.
You say you only have one vote, but that vote is a weighted vote in regards to the square footage that the city owns. And it also, from what I remember, when the PBID first went through, it was the city's vote was a deciding factor because the other ones had smaller square footage. And we own so many pieces of property down there, and City Hall is also included in that, that it clinched the vote.
That is true.
Yes, so when you say it's only one vote, it's more than just one vote.
Well, but it's.
I mean,
still-
it is one
It's only
vote.
one vote. We have the most property.
Yes,
We don't have any more power than Mr. Vieira does.
But-
And
but
our
the
vote-
first,
If I may clarify,
Sure,
the
clarify.
weight was only used to establish and renew. Past the ballot, the weight is no longer used. It's one
Oh,
property.
it's just
was-
for the ballot then.
Yes, it's one
That's when
owner.
we had more power.
so we've made a mistake twice.
Well,
No, it's the Prop 218 process. It's
Yeah.
the law.
Okay, well, I just wanted to say that opinion. And I miss coming up here and saying hi to all you guys. So I'll go sit down again.
Anyone else? Carolyn, you would like to come forward? So during the election, before most of us were up here. The city had more than one vote to pass the P-bid because we had more than one properties. That's why other property owners that own multiple properties had multiple votes. And I remember I was at home watching the voting, and I didn't quite understand it either at the time. But after the vote is done, then every property owner has one vote. Even if you own 10 pieces of property, you only have one. Your vote is weighted by just one vote. It's by the owner, correct?
So to establish, so the ballot process for establishment and renewal is based on weight. It's based on weight of square footage of the parcel. Now, I do want to clarify the one vote. The one vote would be on the board of the Las Vegas Downtown Association. That is where the vote, that is where the voice happens. That's where action is taken, is at the Las Vegas Downtown Association board. We do have a representative on the board. That's only one vote, just as each district only has one vote, right? It's the same. One member of the Downtown Association only has one vote.
But I think the clarification for Mrs. Vieira is when the renewal comes, which we had in August, the city's vote is based on the amount of square footage we had, not who's on the board.
Yes.
There's a
That is
difference.
correct.
Yes.
There's a difference.
And for clarification, the mayor was asking regarding, so not with the establishment, not with the ballot, but with how the board is now run.
And that's why it passed for the 10 years, because the weight of the vote based on square footage, the city and other property owners who voted for it had more weight. But individually for property owners, there were more property owners one-on-one that voted against it than for it. So that's how it gets renewed. It's based on weight, not what happens at the board meetings in regards to, one, the city having one vote as all the other board members do.
So, get her the microphone. So she's asking who's the representative on the board. Actually, we had voted for Mayor Pro Tem Lewis to be on the board. Like was said earlier, there was a conflict. They've scheduled their meetings at a certain time. I think it's been scheduled like that for quite a while. And she goes to the air board at the exact same time as that meeting. So now we have to put somebody else on that. And right at this time, before we decide what we're going to do, I think Stacy's going to represent us before we decide if another council member has time to be on that board.
So any council member can be on there?
The board has to approve all board members, is my understanding too. So we can say, we want this person to be on the board. The board has to vote to approve that board member.
I have to tell you that I've been here through 5 years. I didn't find out till it began a year later or so. But they have never had meetings that I know of, that I was invited to, that I was able to know when, except by bugging them, really, just by, so.
Yeah, that.
There's a big problem there.
Yes,
There's just some
that's
big
not
problems.
right. That is not right. It's a public entity that needs to be open to the public, and I'm not sure how we have to look. They're good people. We'll talk to them.
Okay.
Okay.
I have one additional question.
Okay.
I usually don't need one of these. My additional question is, why was it brought 4 months prior and voted on by people who were recalled and not reelected? Why was that done 4 months early to vote on it? Was it because they needed that guaranteed vote?
Was it
I
formed?
do think that there's a bit confusion. I think Councilmember Lewis was speaking about the downtown master plan, which is completely separate from the management district plan of the PBID. That did have a requirement based on assessment and the tax rolls of a timing. So there was timing requirements and certain public hearing processes that to follow the Prop 218 process that needed to occur. The downtown master plan was adopted in October, had been a plan that the city had been working on for about 3 years or so, and completely separate from the management district plan. The downtown master plan is the city's plan, our control, our plan, completely outside of the management district plan of the PBID that only governs the 3 or so blocks within the PBID.
So we're asking to sign this agreement tonight. When was it voted on?
August 7th.
And that's what I was saying. Last year, this was voted on and approved in August of last year.
Yes.
But it didn't end, the actual agreement didn't end until the December the 30th or something like that of 2024.
Yes, because of the tax rolls, then there would have been an overlap, right? There wouldn't have been an assessment. They would have had to have waited to 2025. So they needed, in order to get into the tax roll based on the county's tax roll process, though our agreement would become effective January 1st, 2025, and would also end December 31st, 2034, because it would follow the district, right? So I don't know of the confusion. It had to in order for it to get into the tax roll and to be assessed properly per the county. And I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Mayor, Council, Raul Grania. I hope I don't add confusion to this. Ask a couple of questions for clarity. One, the local downtown association, does the city have any idea how often their meetings are? Are they regularly scheduled, randomly?
They're every third Thursday at 10 a.m.
And then are the property owners aware that they're every third Thursday at 10 a.m.? So I want to say a couple things. Like, first off, I get when we come up with any kind of a meeting of a group, things are complex. But we do also have a tendency to maybe conflate different ideas together and even slow down, sometimes even hinder what we're trying to do, even our own desires. So, for example, I appreciate absolutely, Councilwoman Lewis, what you're doing, what you're trying to do, your heart to do this. Councilman Chavez, the same thing. It sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, this agreement simply needs to be signed so that we can go about normal business with the Downtown Association, paying bills that are already overdue, apparently. They're going to be more overdue if they can't get paid. And then what that doesn't do in any way is lock us into a position where we have less power than we have now. And that's the fear that everybody seems to have. If we sign this, we lose our power negotiating abilities to whether we like this or not. And it sounds like that's not true at all. That if we sign this agreement, the bills can get paid, we can go on, and then that is one idea that needs to be moved to the side, and then discuss the other issue for those who want to have the PBID really checked into, or whether we want to even continue this kind of a thing as a city. Does the city need to, as Councilwoman Brown, use their right to say, hey, we need to completely just dissolve this entirely, but that is an entirely different conversation for an entirely different time under different pretense. This needs to happen. Then we can move into those things. And it doesn't invalidate, to be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of the PBID. And only because of how it came to be. You are right. At the board meetings, each owner has one vote. But to be fair, the city vote does carry more weight just because it comes from the city. It makes a statement that carries more weight than the landowners do. So that's just an absolute reality that we all know. And that's perfectly fine, and that's fair. So what I ask as a taxpayer who has no dog in the downtown five, because I own no property down there, but I do live in Los Banos, and I do want the best for our community, I would implore the city to say, okay, we're going to move forward with this, get this done, it needs to happen, it's regular business. And then we are going to sit down and somehow negotiate a conversation, because it seems at the very least there is a serious lack of communication between the downtown association and the downtown landowners. And that is a problem that is causing all of this to happen. And I would ask the city to step in and maybe facilitate this conversation. And if we find that the landowners don't want to have a part of that conversation, you've done all you can do. That's it. That's all we can do. If, however, the downtown association seems to have an issue with this conversation or holds back, at that point, then the city needs to step in and exercise their right and say, maybe we need to completely go to a different route or find a different managing party for this, because this managing party is not serving the best interests of the downtown landowners and the community of Los Banos. But that may not be the case. Hopefully they come together, talk, and it all works square. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
I agree with you 100%.
The only thing is we cannot dissolve the PBIT. We can't we can't dissolve it.
I get it, but I think the point here is that there's it's just the point of, we're here because there's poor communication. They don't even know when there's going to be meetings. If this was handled properly, we probably wouldn't be in this situation, but now we're having to clean up this mess. So I think what a lot of us are doing, we're trying to get informed of what we're dealing with here. So what's the best course of action to move forward so we can make the best decisions, stop making the mistakes that have already been made before us. So I don't disagree with what he's saying at all.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sure we can fix this. I know the Downtown Association will do the right thing. And I'm sure the people in this audience will let us know if they're not doing the right thing, because we respect them very much too. And so I'd like to entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
as part of that motion to approve this, if so desired, I would be glad to accept as well if the council desires to conduct some form of audit. So if you want to approve something like that during this motion, we'll move forward with that. And as the pastor said, that was a great point. Thank you very much for making it. We'd be happy to facilitate the connections between these two parties.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll make the motion, but I'm going to ask our financial director to state how the audit will happen, so that's on the record. Is that okay? I mean, she's given us clarity of what the expectation is going to be, so I don't want to mess it up so that.
Yeah, I just hate to box us into something. We can definitely, by way of this agreement, create the audit that you're looking for without doing that, but I guess I'm not opposed to it.
Like you said, if it's not good enough, we can go back and ask for more information.
Okay, so I will approve resolution number 6929 as read by title. Also adding in that the city work with the Downtown Association for a full audit from day one to date on their expenditures and income. Is that appropriate enough? Okay. And this is on the PBIT side, not the 501c side.
You have a second?
So I would say, going along with that, I will give it a second, but I'd like to see different members of the city going in and sitting on the board, not just one person, and the city facilitate this stuff to make sure it happens. People know, okay, how are we communicating to people? Do they know when the meetings are at? Where are they going to be at? And all that good stuff. And help facilitate so we don't end up here again. I know we can't force them to do this type of stuff, but it's good business if we can come to agreements and negotiate that stuff and make it work for everybody.
So
right?
if I
all second it.
Okay.
And coming back on his second, Mayor, I can encourage the council members to go to the website for the Downtown Association. You can see that their meetings have been inconsistent. They're not always on the third Thursday of the month. They've been on Tuesdays at different times. And I think that's what the complaint has been with the public, that they weren't able to find out where the meetings were. So
And that's why I make
is-
that
yes,
statement, for
that's-
that reason,
yeah.
because I've heard that over and over, so.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. I want to thank everybody that spoke today. We appreciate it very much. And there's progress. There's progress.
Needs to be.
Okay. Okay, next item is item 11, is council member request. We had a request by Councilmember Chavez to discuss regarding the mobile vendor ordinance. This is basically a discussion of how we want to proceed with this. There's no ordinance taking place tonight, but I'm going to ask for comments from the audience. They can give us their point. We do have a letter to read also, and I'm actually going to turn it to Councilmember Chavez. Say a few words.
Yeah, definitely. So, I've gone and visited with several of the mobile food vendors and talked to them just to kind of better understand what they're looking for. And I've gotten a lot of different things. It's not all the same, but definitely one thing comes through is that people are looking for the ability to have tables and chairs, and as well as tents. It is the Central Valley. It gets very hot. I go to taco trucks and food trucks and all that. And yeah, when I'm waiting for my food, or if I go with my daughter, at least we have somewhere to sit if we're waiting for food, even if we're not going to eat there. As far as, it competing with other businesses, in my personal opinion, I don't see that. Regular restaurants have liquor licenses. Mobile food vendors do not have that. So that's why I'm making the request that, if we can direct staff, if we're good with it, then start looking at ordinances in other cities to see, what are they doing and what makes sense. And also, we can see what makes sense for us as well. But I think, it's something that's got to get revisited, and we've got to do something different. Some of them have talked about the illegal food vendors that are out there. That doesn't have anything to do with this ordinance. I know there's enforcement stuff, but a lot of those individuals, and we have had those within the city limits, and I've got some updates from our city manager there, and Ray Rain on them, and they've been, they get on social media, they find out where they're at, and they have gone after them. I've also been in contact with Scotty Silvera for the county, because a lot of these are getting set up outside the county where we don't have that jurisdiction. So that's a different issue, but at least for this one here, my request is for us to revisit this ordinance and see what makes sense, and that's what I'm requesting basically, is some tables, some chairs, and tent. Very simple. But if staff comes up with something different after revisiting ordinances, that's great too. We can look at that.
Okay, before I turn it to the council, I'd like to have anybody from the public, first we'll read the letter. Lucy, could you read the letter that came to us today or yesterday?
My name is Nineveh Villagomez, and I am the owner of a local taco truck located next to City Hall that serves our community. I want to share a little about our business and our intentions. Our taco truck is more than just a food vendor. It represents a dream, a livelihood, and a way to contribute meaningfully to the community we love. As a small family-run business, we are here to build relationships, not competition. We are not trying to take customers from anyone. Instead, we aim to work in harmony with our local businesses. Our goal is to work in unity with other vendors and establishments, offering a variety of convenience and a cultural food experience to our diverse community. Our truck primarily serves working locals during their lunch breaks, providing them with a welcoming space to enjoy a quick, affordable, and flavorful meal. For many, it's not just food, it's a moment of comfort and connection during a busy day. We're proud to serve a wide range of customers and want everyone to feel welcome at our truck. One important part of that experience is creating a space where people feel welcome. Having a few tables and chairs nearby allows our customers, many of whom are working locals on short lunch breaks, to sit down, enjoy their meal, and take a much-needed moment of rest. It turns a quick food stop into a brief moment of comfort and connection. Without that seating, many are forced to eat standing up or in their vehicles, which can make the experience feel rushed and less enjoyable. We believe these small touches like seating can make a big difference in creating a sense of community and hospitality. Our goal is to make people feel at home, even if just for a few minutes during a busy day. This business creates vital opportunities for me and my family, helping us build a better future while giving back to the city we care so much about. We hope to continue operating with the city's support in unity with others and always with the goal of being a positive presence in our community. Thank you for your time, your consideration, and for supporting small business owners like ours.
Thank you, Lucy. I'd now like to welcome anyone that would like to speak on this item. Please come forward and speak to the council. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor. We are business owners. I am right here next to City Hall. And we just want to be given the opportunity to work without being cited. It is never our intention, it was never our intention to be defiant. But please understand that it's really hard for us to see our customers standing while they wait for the food. I know a lot of them are workers, they're tired, they just want to sit down. And you know, it's a common practice in California for all food trucks to have tables and chairs. Merced, Sherlock, Fresno, even the Bay Area are allowed to have tables and chairs. I know the weather is changing, it's really hot, and you know, it's just heartbreaking to see our customers even today just standing, and it's not even that hot yet. You know, we haven't reached our max. So I just hope that, you know, we can make this work and for you guys to change. I know it's been a long time since it has been revised, and sorry, I'm nervous.
It's okay.
Studies have
You're
shown
doing a good job.
studies have shown that there has been there hasn't been any restaurant closures due to food trucks operating. I did a Google, I did a research, and they haven't closed due to food trucks. You know, it's totally different. You're having a quick lunch. Later in the evening, you're going to a nice restaurant to have a nice dinner. So it's completely different. I myself have done that while I'm out. You know, grab a quick lunch, then later on go and have a nice dinner. So we want to be given the opportunity to operate with the city's support and consent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ivan Gonzalez, the owner of La Jalisciense 2 station at 402 Washington Avenue. I'm here more so to complain about the ordinance as a business owner because I feel it isn't fair for my customers to have to stand around for their food where brick and mortars are allowed to have tables and chairs for like customers to sit down and wait for services. And I also wanted to complain as a disabled person because I don't think it's fair for people as myself that can't stand for long periods of time and wait for food and services like other people could. And I hear a lot of complaints from my customers that are in the same boat or situation that it's hard for them to get out of their car to begin with and then come order food and then have to stand and wait for said food and then go back when before I was able to provide a chair at least for them to sit down. And it's just been difficult since receiving a citation like about a month ago. So, yeah. Thank you.
Hey, thank you both for your comments. Anyone else, please come forward.
Good evening again. I just want to talk a little bit about this ordinance. I think it's over almost 20 years since it's been reviewed, and this past time for it to be reviewed. And speaking with a lot of the vendors, they're asking for a review to allow tables and chairs and some kind of a shade canopy. Now, they're not asking for permanent fixtures. They understand that they would have to take them down at the beginning, at the end of every business shift. And it would have to comply with other ordinances such as health and safety, et cetera, something that's not unusual. And again, these requests are not uncommon, and they're consistent with some of the Senate bills or bills here in the state. Specifically, we can talk about SB 946, which addresses street side vendors. And it also addresses the fees. So the fees here charged by the city of Los Banos are excessive, and they should only be for covering of the administrative costs, nothing more. I think some of the fees here range from $800 just to operate in it. Again, that's excessive, and there's no justification to that. So along with the addressing of the tables and chairs and awnings, I think the reviewing the fee schedule for them, not only for vendors, but for businesses as a whole. Again, they're not asking for anything that's not unusual. Other cities, other municipalities around us have already changed this, and again, in compliance with state laws and regulations. So the city really is the one that's out of compliance, not so much the vendors themselves. So we ask that you look at the governing oversight from state and other governing bodies, which dictate that we cannot be restrictive to these vendors, and we need to allow them an opportunity to invest and grow their business and not be a detriment to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else, please come forward.
I don't own a food truck or a restaurant, but I like food. And I just want to say, I want to encourage the city to actually reconsider a lot of the points of the ordinance concerning the food vendors. These are the people who are trying to make a living with what they have. My dad came to America from Mexico. He owns a Mexican restaurant now. And it started kind of on this path of I need to work hard. I need to find every single break, every cut that I can get. Working, recognizing that I can't afford a lot of the fees. I can't afford the fines. These are just regular people who are just trying to get by. And I get that we have to follow ordinances, that we need to make sure that we protect the community through health. We need to protect ourselves safe-wise, make sure we're not causing any obstructions and whatnot. But I want us at the end of the day to never forget that we're talking about people who are just trying to make a living, an honest living. And that honest living sometimes causes us to think that it is going to interfere with our honest living. But let's be real. As a person who likes food, there is no portable or no temporary food vendor that is causing any financial damage to our brick and mortar restaurants in this community. It's not a reality. I challenge anyone to say that one day I was going to get up, go to lunch, go to a food vendor, to a taco truck, and because they were closed down, I changed my mind and I went and sat down at España's. That's not what happens, right? If I'm going there at lunch, which is the primary people they're looking for, and I want fast food, I want something that's not just Taco Bell or McDonald's. I want to go to El Guerrense, right, and get me something good to eat. That's what I consider fast food because it's quicker. I don't have time to sit and eat. But my other option is Taco Bell, or my other option is McDonald's. So to be fair, that's the other competition, I guess, that we would be working against. But I don't feel like our city should be that concerned with the mainstream franchises over the people who actually make up this community. I don't think it's very far-fetched or even in any way out of line to simply look at something and say, hey, let's just allow them to have things that are not portable structures and be in line with a lot of the other policies that many of the other communities have. It's not very difficult to allow these things, to put these into the policy and to ensure that it meets our health codes, that it meets safety codes, and just sit down and take time with this. I guess what I'm trying to say is this isn't some big giant thing like our downtown association or big projects with our infrastructure. And so my fear is that the city's going to say, okay, yeah, and just kind of poo-poo it a little bit. Because we tend to forget that these are people and they're not as important to us. I want to just implore the city to just make this the priority. Because this is going to really show whether or not we're actually about the people or about the industry or about the institution that is the city. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Please come forward.
So, yeah, so thank you. A few more words.
Okay,
You
I'll turn it back to the council now. Thank you, everyone, for speaking, and go ahead.
All right. So Ivan, agree with y'all. Thank you. Even with what Rafuli was saying, same thing. This isn't that hard, and what you're saying makes sense. This is a different council up here. We definitely do care, and we are looking at things and trying. But it can't be fixed at once. It takes time, and that's what I'm learning, because I like to get things done quickly, at least where I work. But people also got to understand government takes a while. I think I haven't told you that one. Any visit. Give me a chance. Let it work. Because it just takes time, and it does. That can be very frustrating. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because I don't want people to feel like, they're just not doing anything. That's not true. I'm learning there's a lot of things that have to be met and have to be done before we can just make changes. But we're definitely hearing what you guys are talking about. I don't think it's a big deal to have chairs, tables, and a tent. We're taking down every day, like we were saying. Yeah, that's not a big deal. And yeah, if your food is good, it doesn't matter whether you're brick and mortar or you're a taco truck or mobile food vendor of any kind, you're going to get the business regardless if you're that good. So that's the way it's always been. I've got a taco truck where I work, and I'm the one that hires it and started it originally, and we've got one now at Liberty. So this isn't that big a deal. This is tables, chairs, and tents. Something that we can take down at the end of every day. It's not a big deal. I'd like us to revisit the ordinance, and that's the request, so we can vote.
Okay, so like Councilmember Chavez said, it's very frustrating, especially for us up here, and especially if you're new to government. Government is designed to move slowly, so things don't get past the people. It's the old, and so that's sometimes gets in the way, but things we talked about this a few weeks ago, and we're talking about it again. Now staff will most likely probably have staff look at the ordinance. That'll take time, and then it'll come back. We'll open it up for more discussion. But the very first mobile food vendor ordinance was passed when I was mayor the first time. And a lot of things have changed since then. Yes, I do own a restaurant. Yes, I've ran it for 46 years, so I know what the restaurant business is all about. No, you are not in competition for a sit-down restaurant. I totally believe that. Actually, I encourage more restaurants to come to our town, because people that don't know the restaurant industry, the more restaurants in your town is better for all the restaurants. Because if you go back 30 years ago, and there were really two main restaurants in Las Banas, it was España's and Carlos Restaurant at the time, and Wool Growers, the three. If you didn't go to those three restaurants, you went out of town. And that's not good. That's not good for the town. It's not good for sales tax, and that's not good for people getting used to leaving the town. Now, if there's 30 good restaurants in this town, you will circle them, and you will stop, and you'll stay in town, spend your money locally, and then you'll also visit mobile vendors. Now, mobile vendors originally were mobile vendors. What is that? What's that definition? It means that you're not planted in one spot. You're mobile. You show up at a place and for lunch, an industry, and you sell your wares, and then you go online and social media and say you're going to be at this corner, and you go over there. And now that has sort of changed a lot. Now you're seeing mobile vendors parked in one place. Things have changed since 25 years ago. And so we'll look at all that, and that's why that now we've talked about places to sit and stuff like that. There's a lot of things, what the most, me, myself, and I look at everything this way, is it has to be fair. It has to be fair to the mobile vendors, and it also has to be fair to all the other restaurants too. And I don't want to put undue restrictions on anybody. I don't like restrictions. I don't like taxes. I don't like any of that stuff. I like freedom with that. But for a city to run correctly, we have to be able to guide people in the right direction. So it's safe, and it's safe for their customers, and it's also safe for them. And we're looking at a lot of things, you know, and once they get established, then it's our responsibility to make sure everybody knows the new ordinance, what's expected of them, so it's easy to follow. It's not like, oh, I didn't know I couldn't do that. And I know we went through COVID, we went through a lot of things, that a lot of things were up in the air back then. And now we're hopefully in a good point. So I agree that we need to look at this ordinance again. We need to be fair. We need to be practical. We need to be 2025, and we need to help people. A lot of things that are really unfair to brick and mortar. I was told that my restrooms have to have hot water in 8 seconds after they turn on the hot water. Now, you know, that's a health law. That's not the city of Los Banos. I don't know if that's fair. I'm in a building that's over 100 years old. So I had to replumb everything so I could get that. But anyway, but you live in the today, and we want to make things as easy. We want everybody to prosper, and we want everybody to have a chance. That's what the United States is all about. So I'm for looking at it, and I'll get off my high horse right now. Anybody else have anything to say? Is this a motion or what? Okay, make your motion.
All right. I'd like to make it doesn't have a number, but yeah, I'd like to make a motion to proceed, move forward, and ask staff to, to take a look at it and give us some information so we could move forward.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, ayes have it. I'd like to thank everybody that spoke on this issue. Thank you. Where are we? 12. Okay, next item is appointment of members to the following commission. Measure H, Oversight Committee, and item B is a Tree Commission. And Lucy, you want to talk a little bit about this? Sarah did it, and your staff.
Staff interviewed applicants for the Measure H Citizens Oversight Committee, and Letty Guerra was brought forward for that appointment to the 1-year, 2-year term, expiring December 31st, 2026.
Okay, so we'll need a motion. Letty's actually already served on this. She's excellent candidate for this Measure H Citizen Oversight Committee, and I would like to recommend her on another 2-year term.
Second.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, ayes have it. Next item is the Tree Commission.
Mayor and respective council member interviewed candidates, and Tom Calgin and Brian Holleran were selected to fill the 2-year terms expiring December 31st, 2026.
Thank you, Lucy. And the Tree Commission is very important. 13,000 trees in the city, right? So they have to count each tree every week. And Joe, make sure they do that. So actually, Tom Calgin has been on the Tree Commission for many years. He's the best. Brian Hollerman's new to the Tree Commission, and I recommend both of them to serve on their terms, and that's my motion.
All right, second that.
Okay, we have motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, ayes have it. Again, thank you all. We're filling up our commissions. Lucy, there's still a couple?
We still have one vacancy, I know, on the Tree Commission,
Okay,
and I think we might be filled. Oh, Stacy. Okay.
okay, District 1 Planning Commission. Ooh, that District 1 person has really been quiet for a long time. So, okay, let's talk about District 1 real fast. So that the campaign, signing, for running for District 1 started today, correct?
No, Monday.
Starts Monday.
Started
Monday. Okay, I'm
Okay.
behind. Started Monday, and on the 7th and 8th, the county put in a trailer. So that's today and tomorrow, right?
Today and tomorrow.
So you could actually, if you live in District 1, that person that's going to sit over there next to Evan, or he or she, if you live in District 1, the application has started, and you can actually come down here. The next one is the 28th and tomorrow, and then again the 28th and 29th. You do not have to go to Merced and pull your papers. Then after you pull your papers, you will go get your signatures of people that live within your district that say, hey, I want this person to run, and then you turn in your paperwork to the county. And that election is August 26th, correct? August 26th. And so do we have to wait for that person to put in a planning commissioner? Do we have to?
Yes.
Okay, so
I don't think it would be appropriate because they're the ones that have the authority to appoint. We do have enough people for quorum, don't we?
Yes, we've been running the vacancy. We just haven't received any applications. So it's been open, and we've been anticipating it would be filled, and otherwise we would be waiting until
so
August.
that planning commissioner has to also live in District 1.
They sure do.
So at losbanos.org, you can go to our website and you can actually see where District 1 is located. And if you live within that, put in your application for the planning commission, and by the time you put in your application, and maybe there'll be an election, and then we can get an appointee. So we can get things up.
What you're saying, Mayor, is that person will serve temporarily until?
No, we'll just wait till they get elected.
Okay.
Measure B2 is vacant.
Measure B.
The one
Okay.
that you were on.
Yeah, so Measure V is a measure that is the half-cent sales tax countywide for roads. And there's an oversight committee that meets twice a year, usually January, February, November, December, those 2 months, twice a year in Merced at MCAG. And so it's very interesting because each city has their money for this Measure V, because Measure V collects sales tax that goes basically to roads. Goes to other things, but mostly roads. And so each jurisdiction, the 6 cities and the county, will come before the commission, and usually it's the engineer or of that jurisdiction comes in and says, I want to use my money for this road, and they'll show you maps, and in Atwater I want to do this and do that, and Livingston I want to do this, and then it comes to Los Banos. And it's interesting. It's usually a pretty good meeting. You get a really broad section of people. There's ex-mayors on it. There's ex-county CEOs on that commission. So anyway, that is open. That I was on that commission for about 1.5 years before I decided to run for mayor, and I enjoyed it. You do have to go to Merced for the meetings, but I enjoyed it. So anybody who's willing to serve on that, please put your name in. It's only 2 meetings a year, and they don't buy you lunch or anything. I'm sorry about that, but it's a good commission. Okay, so that's a lot about 2 commissions. City department reports, and we'll go to our city interim manager.
Evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. You'll be excited to hear tonight that we're starting a new process. We've added an agenda item. We've removed one, but we've just replaced it with this one. Previously, Director Helms would provide an update to the upcoming Planning Commission meetings. We've adjusted that a little bit, and we're now calling that the city department reports. And what that is a really quick informational item only. They're so I don't run afoul of our city attorney, these items are only to be discussed by our departments. It's more of an announcements opportunity, less so an engagement or a dialogue on the topic because it hasn't been agendized properly. So every meeting henceforth, we will have various conversations from or various announcements from our department heads. And tonight we will start with Community and Economic Development Director, Stacy Suzanne.
Thank you. Thank you, Interim City Manager, Mayor, and City Council. So the first item is a public hearing notice for the Villages at Stone Creek 4 Development Agreement Extension. This would be the second amendment, second extension to that development agreement. That public hearing will be held on Wednesday, May 14th at 6 p.m. here in the council chambers. Second item is a groundbreaking ceremony for Sutter Health. It'll be located at 801 West L Street on Friday, May 9th at 10 a.m. This is where Dr. Hardy's office used to be located, so right across the street from the DMV, and it will be an expansion project to bring more outpatient care services to the community, so pretty exciting. And then I did want to mention that the California Department of Finance last Thursday released new population estimates for the state of California. Los Banos, our population increased by 1.4%. Our new population is 48,896 people. The city of Merced saw growth, but the rest of the county as proper, as well as the other cities within the county, saw actually a decrease in population. What was that number again? 48,896.
I actually thought it'd be more than that. You know.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And now we'll go to our finance director, Annie Moreno.
Good evening, Mayor and honorable council members. Beginning July 1st, the City of Los Banos will accept credit card payments at all municipal locations. With this improving convenience for our residents and streamlining financial processes, secure payment systems will be in place and the public outreach efforts will support a smooth transition. So we're very excited.
That is great news. We've come to 2025. That is really good news. Okay, Parks and Rec Director Joe Helm.
Good evening. Good evening. I have a couple exciting announcements before our next council meeting on May 17th. At 1:30 p.m. we're going to be holding a ceremonial check celebration at Colorado Ballpark. It's actually the last day of Little League games for their regular season, and we're celebrating the $1 million that Assemblywoman Soria helped secure towards the Colorado Ballpark project. I believe the mayor and Mayor Pro Tem will be speaking, and so very excited about that, very grateful for that. Also, we're looking at Sunrise Ranch soft opening here, hopefully the week of May 12th, which is just next week. And what I mean by soft opening is we still have some PG&E, so there's some park lights that aren't energized just yet. That'll be about 8 weeks out or so, but the rest of the park is looking to be completed. The shade top may also be an outstanding item, but the park itself is looking to be on track to be open. I know I've had a lot of residents ask about that. Speaking of parks, we'll also see a ramp up on Shaughnessy Village over the next month here. That project has been sort of begun, but we're mostly working on the submittal side of things and getting the project items together and reviewing those before you see the mobilization on site. So that is going to be progressing quite a bit over the next few weeks.
Great. Thank you, Joe. Chief Reina. Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Two items really quick. Number one, wanted to thank Mr. Jason Walsh and the Los Banos Junior High School. Got to attend two classes of the 8th grade advanced history students last week. Got to speak to them about the police department, law enforcement in general. So I just want to thank the students and Mr. Walsh for their attention and making me feel welcome. Second item, with funding, approved funding, the police department worked with a vendor to build and this week took delivery of a mobile speed trailer that will be placed around town. It's been a long time. It's been many years since we've had one. So we built it specifically to be multi-role. It has technology, it has cameras, and you should start seeing it around town. It's just one part of our new efforts to address traffic in Los Banos. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Chief. City Engineer Bergson.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. A couple items. The city soliciting construction proposals for storm drain metering that's on the streets where I believe it closes in 2 weeks. Other item is the week of May 19th, the work on Pioneer and Articulate is continuing, but the intersection is going to be shut down while we install the water main in the middle of the street. So we'll have detours out way in advance of that. That's all.
Great. Thank you, Chuck. And we'll go back to our city manager's report.
Well, now that we started this process, they're taking and stealing all my thunder, so I don't really have a lot to report. I would like to thank staff and the council for their attendance yesterday. It was yesterday, yeah? Yeah. Sorry. Yesterday at the Budget Priorities Workshop, there's a lot of dialogue, a lot of information that was exchanged there during that nearly 8-hour meeting, I want to say it was. But it was a great time had by all. There will be a winner for the longest presentation. We haven't figured out who that is yet, but we will be doing that soon. Some went over the 45 minutes that they were allotted. Surprise, surprise. But I just want to say thank you. It was very productive as part of our ongoing efforts from the council and the mayor to be more transparent with the community. That was a public meeting. The media was there with us and spent the entire day with us. And so it was a good event. Second, I think last, we have ordered televisions for this room. I know everyone sits here, including myself, and I'm staring here, I'm staring over there. We're going to put nice big 85-inch televisions on either side, and I think we can get to about a 65-inch television there hanging above Lucy's head without hitting anyone. I think we'll be okay, but the 85-inch televisions will be a dramatic increase in improvement in what the community can see during our presentations, and so we're looking forward to that. Beyond that, I appreciate everyone's hard work. Thank you, staff, very much again for yesterday's commitment and all of your efforts from your teams. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember District 3, Marcus Chavez.
Oh, great. Me to talk again.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of stuff going on. I'm not going to say very much, but I know that yesterday was very informative. Thanks to the staff for, all the presentations and information. I'm still trying to digest a lot of it and kind of been looking through some of the stuff that I didn't get to see. But that's a learning experience. That was pretty cool to see all that. And then, how can we help you all? So we're definitely, one big thing was definitely the homeless encampment. That was a big topic, and I will say, last week I went through there, and thanks to Chief Reina for helping me out with that. I went through that encampment to take a look and see what we're dealing with. So there's some ideas on the table. There's some things that staff's already working on to figure out what can be done there. And I'll leave it at that, but it's definitely a hot topic for the council. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Lewis.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to piggyback on Director Elms's statement about population, I get some news feeds from some organizations, one Cal City News, and they had a publication here just today about population, and the increase in California alone was 108,000 people. I thought that was a small number. But we had a big exodus during the COVID era, and apparently it slowed down. But the Central Valley is where the growth is happening, and some of the lack of growth is in the Bay Area, like San Jose, and probably some of the more expensive places to live, which is understandable. So just wanted to piggyback on that statement that there is news out there that California is on the incline for growth again. And again, congratulations, Chief, to our explorers with Officer Greco and your other officer working with them. I'm so proud of those young people. that they have stepped up to be involved at this age and understand the importance of law enforcement in our community. This is the future of our police department in Los Banos, and you know, just to beat out the highway patrol and a lot of other agencies with their number one, it just brings me joy. Yeah, I imagine. So congratulations to Director Melanie. In the years that I have been here on council, this is the first time that she's received award, and deservingly so. A lot of work managing all of the health insurance, all of the events, everything that has to do with every employee in the city of San Jose, plus being the elected clerk, city clerk for the city of Los Banos. It's an awesome responsibility, and so I congratulate you, and I thank you for your service in the many years that you've served our community. There was mentioned by one resident about road paving and, you know, the grooves that are set in there. And I'm just wondering if maybe, I'll take for instance, right now we have road work that's being done on Ortigalita at Pioneer. And a lot of the heavy trucks are going down Cardoza, and we've just spent a lot of money repaving that street, and I'm beginning to see little evidences of grooving going in. So I'm wondering, when we have these big projects in Los Banos, are there certain surface roads that perhaps these heavy trucks that are carrying a lot of stuff can move down rather than going down residential areas where we don't have that level of action, and it starts to deteriorate the roads again? I hate to see, you know, that project being wasted, and it's been what, not even 2 years that road was repaved. So I don't know if we have routing for construction work of that sort in our city, to have the trucks rerouted to areas where they can carry heavier loads, but maybe that's something, Mr. City Manager, you can work with our Public Works Director on. Citizens Academy. We have a police department academy that helps our citizens understand what our police department does, and it's brought a lot of knowledge to our community in regards to that. And I've spoken to the mayor about this, and I know that one of my friends who was a former council mayor of the city of Tracy, they have a Citizens Academy. And in that Citizens Academy, it's every department that comes in and talks to people who sign up for that Citizens Academy as to how government happens. Because a lot of times people think that I pay my taxes and you should do this, this, and this. But there's a process to that. So I would like to, you know, it doesn't have to happen today, but something I think we should think about. Because with having a Citizens Academy, I think it will also help us keep our commissions full and people begging to get in, so that, you know, that's another aspect where we can promote for the city of Los Banos to help keep those commissions full, and people have a better knowledge about what it takes to run a city, as well as what its council does and all the departments do. And lastly, as far in regards to the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution District, I don't have much of anything to say. A lot was just statistical stuff about staff and appreciation of staff at our last meeting. But the one thing that was spoken about is residential wood stove reduction statistics and the report for 2024-25, which is online. And of course, as always, the Air Board is recommending anyone who is still burning wood to move away from that. There's no state law as of yet, but CARBS, the state-controlled organization that just makes all these decisions, I know they're moving in that direction. And so there is still money out there for people who want to purchase a gas or electric insert into their fireplace to be able to do that. There's a maximum amount that you can get, but that maximum is based on income, and there's also a minimum amount that anybody can apply for to help purchase an insert and move away from wood-burning fireplace. And that's all that I have this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. District 2, Evan Sanders.
So I pretty much just wanted to talk about the meeting that we had yesterday. For me, it was really cool to have that meeting because it was the first time I felt like, and because it's the first time we have, been able to all get together and actually talk about what's happening in the city. So I've learned a lot. I'm really new to government, to any of this kind of thing. And one thing that makes this really challenging is the Brown Act makes it so we can't get together and have a conversation to even altruistically to say, oh, well, what do you want to do about this? Like, what should we do about, Wilmot has grooves in it? We can't do that. This is the only time that we can sit down and talk. So having that all-day meeting yesterday with all the department heads gave us the opportunity to talk about what's going on with the city. All the department heads gave presentations about what their concerns are, wanted to get our opinion on which way we think the city should move. It was really informative for me. It was a long day. It was 8+ hours. It only felt like 7.5. But I was able to go home and reflect on it. It was probably the most fun I've had doing this so far. It may not have seemed like it at the time, but I actually really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the discussion. I appreciate the thought that went into everybody's presentations. It really gave me an opportunity to understand what maybe we'll see over the next couple of years happening in the city. And I think everybody who lives here should know that there's a bunch of really good people that work here, and everybody really does want what's best for the city. We talked about parks and fire and police and how we can take better care of our streets. Nobody said, how can we squeeze more taxes and fees out of the citizens? It was never mentioned. It's not part of the discussion. Everybody here really wants to do what's best for the city, and I'm really happy to be a part of it. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Evan. So a couple weeks ago, we had the city-county meeting in Merced, and 3 of us went to it. It was at Merced Airport. City of Merced put it on. It's a time where it's a quarterly meeting where both cities and county can get together. I think the one that Las Banos is doing is about a year away, I think. When we get closer, there's a lot. I have a lot of ideas for that meeting because when we used to do it, I used to invite like the DA. I used to invite the judges. It's networking. You got to talk to all these people that have all these positions and know what we feel as cities and stuff like that. Right now, they sort of come in half hour, get something to drink, and then they sit down and eat. They have a little presentation. It's all good. But the social hour has to be a little bit longer so you can get around and talk to everybody. And that was very enjoyable. They received, was it $16 million from FAA for the airport? They have a brand new airport terminal, and it's beautiful, and it's all designed with TSA and everything for Merced, and they're hoping to get new flights coming in there. So that's all new for Merced. We're very impressed. And while I was in there taking a tour of the new airport terminal, I was appointed to a commission. When I came out, they shook my hand, and I was on another commission. It was like, oh my God. But anyway, it was fun. So anyway, today at 11 o'clock, we had the ribbon cutting of the Lorraine Bridge, Lorraine Street Bridge in Dos Palace. It's Measure V. I talked about Measure V a little bit ago. It's a Measure V project along with the city of Dos Palace and the county. Beautiful bridge, goes over the CCID Canal. Very needed in Dos Palace. The old bridge was really falling apart. They gave a lot of kudos to McIlvaney Construction. They built it under budget and under time also too, early. So they did a good job. They actually fabricated some of the tubing they need for the water or something like that they would have had to wait 3 months for. They made on site, saved a lot of money to the county and Measure V. Congratulations to the Merced County Spring Fair Board. another excellent May Day last week. I was there every day, talking to a lot of people. Really enjoyed it, and got a. Yeah, I really didn't hear too much about potholes, so that was pretty good. So I think you're making progress, Chuck, over there on the potholes. We still got a lot of streets. We're doing almost doubling our street overlaying this coming year, this coming fiscal year. So we're going to get going on streets. We realize a lot of our streets need attention.
Mayor,
Yes.
just so they know, Chuck did hear a lot yesterday from us.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, Chuck, they all did. They all heard a lot from all of us. Yeah. So last week I spent 12 hours in Sacramento at the Senate hearings for a bill that's coming up that Los Banos is sponsoring, co-sponsoring. Yeah, it was about lawsuits against cities and something that Los Banos experienced along with other cities that experienced in the past. We felt it was very important that frivolous lawsuits don't have a way to getting into the cities and causing us to spend money. And so that passed the Senate committee. Now it's going, I think goes one more committee, and then it goes to the floor. So hopefully that's 466, right? HR 466, SB, excuse me, 466. So anyway, that was interesting. I did it a few times when I was mayor 1.0. Sacramento has really changed. Let me tell you, it has really changed in the last 25 years. And it's not all for the good. Oh yeah, there's a lot of coffee shops with the same name. That's the crazy thing. So anyway, but it was enjoyable. I brought my wife with me, and it opened her eyes a little bit. So anyway, so that was good. Also, they're doing an expansion, over $1 billion expansion to the Capitol. It's been underway for almost 2 years now. They're spending, I think they told me they're spending as much as Levi Stadium on the Capitol. So that's our money. So anyway, with that, that's pretty much all I have. Thanks to staff for yesterday. It was great. Enjoyed it. There'll be more to come. It's the desires of the council, our policies to move forward, and I appreciate the council, and I appreciate staff. And now we'll be going into a closed session, public employment, titled City Attorney pursuant to Government Code Section, the dreaded 54957B. And with this, we'll go into closed session, and if any determination comes out of closed session, we'll be coming to the public and making a public decision. So thank you all for being with us this evening. We'll be back in a few minutes out of closed session. Okay, we're back. There's no reportable information. Direction was given only. This meeting is adjourned.